Okay, hi, good morning everyone. Now, this is a tutorial on how to divide complex numbers. Okay, so this is a division of complex numbers. So let's say if I have two complex numbers, like one is a 3 minus 4i and another is a 4 plus 2i. Now, let's say if I have to divide this. So first thing we have to do is, so note, okay, whenever you are dividing two complex numbers, what you have to do is you always have to start by rationalizing the denominator. That's the first step whenever you're dividing complex numbers. Okay, you always have to rationalize the denominator. Okay, so now what is the meaning of rationalize the denominator? Okay, so what you have to do is, so let's say this is the question. So to rationalize, what I have to do is you copy the question as it is, you copy it exactly in the same manner, and when you're rationalizing, what you have to do is you have to multiply. And since we are focusing on the denominator, we focus on the denominator over here. So we have to multiply this entire thing by the same value. So we are talking about the denominator. So if we do not care about the numerator, we are focused on the denominator. So the denominator has a 4 and the value, another value is 2i. Okay, so we multiply by the same thing, but we just have to change the sign in the middle. Now if the sign between the two of them is a plus, then I'll have to multiply it by the same 4 and the 2i, but in between I'll have to write a minus. Supposing if it was a minus, I would have to put a plus. So it depends. So it's not always that you'll have to multiply by a minus. It depends upon the sign that we have in the front. If it's a plus, we multiply by a minus. If it's a minus, multiply by a plus. But the values over here at the starting and the end, they have to be exactly the same. And now whatever you write over here, the same thing needs to be copied at the top also in order to balance this entire equation. Okay, so that is how we rationalize. So that is the starting. Now once we get this, what will happen is now the numerator gets multiplied with the numerator over here. So indirectly it is like 3 minus 4i into this. So when they get multiplied, the 3 will multiply both the 4 and the 2i. So 3 into 4 gives me a 12, and then 3 will multiply 2 1, but first the signs plus into minus gives me a minus. 3 into 2 will give me a 6i, and then another one is now this 4i will multiply these two also, but the signs first, minus into plus is a minus. 4 4 is a 16i, minus into minus is again a plus. 4 2s are 8, and I get an I squared. And down in a similar manner, but over here we don't have to do the long way or the long method as we applied in the numerator. Over here, whenever we rationalize, okay, it will always come in the form of a squared minus b squared, because if you look carefully, this is like a plus b, because it's like a plus b in the front, and it's like a minus b. Sometimes the minus could be in the front, plus could be at the back, but as long as we have two brackets where we have a and b, and the signs are different, then we can write the answer as an a squared minus b squared. So we can write a squared minus b squared in the denominator. So what is a? It's 4 squared, so it's a squared minus the b square. Okay, and then if I look carefully, this I can write it as a 12, and these two are exactly the same. How? Because they have both I and I, so they are like terms, so we can add, the common sign comes in the answer, and then I get a 22i, and then plus 8, and I squared everyone knows is a minus 1. Okay, and then we have 4 squared is 16 minus. Now if you take this in the rough, if you think you get confused over here, okay, if you can do it directly, that's absolutely fine, that's very good. But anyone, if you feel that you have trouble, then this square is for both of them, it's like 2 square I square. So 2 square is a 4, I square is a minus 1, so we get minus 4. So this entire answer gives me a minus 4, so I have minus 4 over here. Okay, so you can skip a few steps also, but still I'm showing you each and every step, so that in case anyone has problem, you will know, okay, what are the different steps, or how did we get the different values. Okay, each and every step is shown over here. So plus into minus is a minus 8, and then down we have 16, minus into minus is a plus 4. Now these two are again like terms. 12 minus 8 will give me a 4, minus 22i divided by a 20. Now this 20 is for this also, it's for this, both of them, so we separate them. So we write 4 by 20 minus 22i by 20, and if they can be cancelled, we cancel. 4 1s are 4 5s are, so we get 1 by 5 minus this also can be cancelled. 2 11s are 2 10s are, so 11i by 10. So why we are doing this is because we are trying to write the answer in the form of a plus ib form. So we have this indirectly is your a, and this indirectly is a b. Okay, so over here a, if you want to compare, a is 1 by 5, and your b, if you think, it's like minus 11 by 10. Is that okay? So that is how we go ahead and divide complex numbers. So whenever you're dividing complex numbers, we just have to start the sum by rationalizing the denominator. And I've already explained to you how do we rationalize the denominator. We just copy the question as it is, and then we just focus on the denominator portion, and whatever values that we have, we write the same values. It's just that the sign between them, we just change it. If I have a plus, we write a minus. If I have a minus, we write a plus, and then accordingly do my multiplication. And then whatever we write over here, same thing has to be written over here also, so that it gets balanced. And then follow the normal multiplication. And then over here, denominator, if you want, you can do the long method also, but if you want, this is always, whenever we rationalize, it's always in the form of a plus b, a minus b, or sometimes it may be, sometimes the minus could be in the front, it's a minus b or a plus b, both are the same thing. Okay, whether you have minus in the front or whether you have plus in the front, it does not matter, as long as one sign is a minus, another is a plus. So if I have any of these two, I can write the answer as a squared minus b squared, and that is what we write. And please also remember I square, for we always know that is equals to minus 1, and that is what we substitute over here. Okay, so that is how we divide complex numbers with the help of rationalization. Okay, so that's it for the time being. Thank you very much.